What's up, it's your boy Tarek Ali and welcome back to your boy's channel. How you doing? You feeling good? I'm feeling good today. You know, I'm here in front of the camera, I'm present. I'm not overthinking it. I am just a little bit, but we're gonna get better as the video continues and I have a glass of wine. But how are you feeling? I hope you're feeling great. I hope you're feeling motivated. And if you're not, maybe you're not. Maybe that's why you clicked this video. Maybe you're feeling like a failure, and that's fine because we're gonna get into that conversation. Today's video is about feeling like a failure in your 20s. It's something that I have experience of. It's something that a lot of 20-year-olds have the feeling of. So first, I'm gonna talk about why you may be feeling like this and why it's common and why it's easy to feel like this. So don't be ashamed of it, okay? Because you're human and that's all you'll ever be. So stop pushing yourself to be something more than that. And then we're going to talk about how we can grow from it and what we can learn from it and how we can feel better about ourselves and our path. Remember, I come here just to get the conversation going and to get the conversation started. I never come here to be right. If I do happen to be right, if you think I'm right, thank you. And if you don't, that's fine as well. That is what the comments are for. This is like a forum. We are here to help each other, share with each other, support each other, and maybe criticize each other, maybe criticize some of my thoughts. Hey, that's what you want to do. All I ask is that you be respectful and you do it in the comments. Please make sure that you leave a like for this video and that you follow me on Instagram, guys, because that really helps me. Okay, please get me a 200K. I really need it, okay? I'm trying to pay my bills. But yes, I'm done with that segue. Y'all know I drink wine in all of my videos. So let's do that. Today we're drinking, who wants to guess? Pinot Grigio, my favorite, yes. Okay, I'm sorry. It's one of those cheap bottles because I bought this to go to a friend's house that doesn't really drink wine like that, and so I was like, she ain't go no child. So I just brought like a cute little $8 wine, child. Okay, so I mean, first of all, I think like the 30 plus people, like the people, if you're 30 and older and you're watching this, I'm probably sure you're probably giggling already, or you giggled at the title. It's so funny. In our 20s, I remember when I first went to college, I thought I was grown. I thought I was an adult. I thought you couldn't tell me nothing, girl. I could have had kids because I just knew I was grown. But then now, like being 22 and graduated from college and I moved across the country, I'm going through things and I'm learning things about myself that I would have never, ever thought about years ago. And I'm like, with all these bills now, and I'm like, wow, I'm really an adult. And it's so crazy because with that revelation or that, new learning of something in the past couple of months, I'm like, what the hell else am I gonna learn in the next 50, 70 years? You know, so it's so interesting because I think when you allow yourself to have so much more time in your life, we wanna be grown so fast. You know, when we're 12, we wanna be 18. When we're 18, we wanna be 21. And when we're 21, we wanna be 30. It's like, you know, and it's just interesting to learn so much in a little bit of time, and you just realize how much time left you have, and you're like, wow, I'm gonna learn so much. So who I say I am is who I am right now. Oh, I'm going on a tangent, but anyways, I said all of that to say that I think all of the 30-year-olds are probably gonna be watching this laughing at us because we feel like failures when we're only in our 20s. Like, we are so young. Like, so young. Okay, so the first thing that I came up with when it came to like why we may be feeling like this or why you may be feeling like this is because society does this really good thing of like superiorizing. I don't really know if that's a word, but it will be today in this video. But putting a high pedestal, like at the top of the totem pole, youth, you know, like being young. And it makes sense though, because I mean, what is the most cherished thing in this world? Like, what is the most precious thing? And though people don't act like it, it's health. And I think the youth is cherished so much is because that's when your health is the best. I mean, just looking at women, that is the best time for you to bear children. It's when your skin is tight, you don't have wrinkles, you know, your bones are strong, you can go jogging and your knees don't hurt, you ain't got arthritis, you ain't got Parkinson's. It's just, your youth is so, you know, esteemed so highly is because you can do all of these things. Your body feels great. You're not aching. You're not hurting. Let me just say that you can have good health in your 30s and 40s and 50s and older. I'm just stating the obvious that, you know, your health kind of gets worse as you get older. I was just trying to make a point here, but yes, you can have good health and unaching knees in your 30s and 40s. And I think this is why the 20s are so interesting, because those are the years that you still have that youth where you can do all of these things. Your body feels great, but you also have that independence of an adult, and you can buy things and you can go travel, and you have the agency to be your own self, and you're not under, you know, someone else's roof like you are in your teenage years or your toddler years. I mean, come on, like, kids on the internet already think that the 30s are old. Like, they think that your life goes up here all the way, and then you get to 30 and it's like, ooh, damn, life insurance, you know? I feel like that's really what kids think, and I will be completely honest, when I was a teenager, 30s was like, oof, I'm not young anymore. Because it's just like, I don't know, it's just something about the 20s. The 20s are just like the golden years to society. And I think growing up, knowing that, you know, well, being conditioned to think that the 20s are supposed to be the best years of your life, you kind of want to have all of those things that you want for yourself in those years because you want to enjoy them while you're still young. And I think that's why we want or feel like we need to have, you know, our 40-year-old bank accounts in our 20-year-old lives, or, you know, 50-year-old wisdom in our 20-year-old lives, or, you know, the love, the family, having all these kids. Like, I think that's why so many people feel like they need to do this all within their 20s, because after that it goes downhill. We want to have all of those things that you're supposed to have in your 50s and your 20s, because those are your best and golden years to society. First of all, let me keep saying that, to society. I think that those 20-year-old years, they're cherished because of health, but because of that, we want to bring everything else into our 20s. We want to jam our whole lives into our 20s, and if you don't, then you start feeling like a failure. And I personally feel like this is kind of detrimental, because then you're trying to live your entire life within your 20s. And then by the time you're 30 or 40, what do you have to live for then? It's just kind of like, and yeah, you can enjoy the things that you created for yourself in the 20s, but at the same time, it's kind of like you crammed an entire lifetime within those 20s rather than just living life and letting things happen when they happen. And I think with this complex, it influences people to think the sooner or earlier you get something done, the better. And the later you get it done, the worse. And so it's why people think that as soon as you get out of college, or maybe you didn't go to college, or maybe you're 23, they think that you should be making a salary that most people don't start making until they get into their 30s or 40s. Or, you know, you think that you should have that house, you know, or you should have that car, or you should just be as successful as you planned yourself to be when you were 18. And especially with social media now and, you know, the dopamine that it gives us, we get this instant gratification, and we don't really know what it feels like sometimes to actually wait and to ride the ride until we get to our destination. And so instead of actually doing things because you want to do them, or maybe because it's your passion or because you enjoy them, you start to see things on a timeline instead, because, you know, the earlier you get it done, the better. So you kind of, if this is your life and if this is everything you want to get done, you start to feel like this is all the time you have to get done, and then all the other years are just the time to enjoy it. It's like we have to get everything in our 20s, and in our 30s to our 80s, that's just when you're relaxed. That's just when you enjoy it. You know, it's not actually spread out. So it's like this pressure to like actually get it done in those 20-year-old years. When we start putting our lives into like these video games where you're meeting all these checkpoints, and we start making these timelines for ourselves, and we're trying to rush that whole lifetime into those 20 years, we start putting it next to other people's. Like, oh, I did this in January 2017, but he did this in 2016. But I did this in 2018, but he did this in 2019. It kind of creates this kind of competition, you know, where you're constantly looking at your timeline and trying to figure out why yours doesn't line up with someone else's. Or maybe why, you know, you got this amount done in this short amount of time, but it took this person 2 years. Then you're starting to wonder, should I have taken a little bit more time with that? Should I have put more into that? And so then it's just a constant competition between all these people, our peers, when really we're not even supposed to be competing with each other. We're supposed to be living our lives. We make all of these timestamps of when things should happen. You know, like when you should have kids, when you should graduate from college, when you should buy this car, when you should have this job. And it's like we make all these timestamps, and then we see other people make those timestamps, and we start beating ourselves up because we didn't meet them. And it may be a timestamp that you didn't even have on your life. Like having a kid in your 20s. Like, I don't want kids in my 20s. I'm sorry, that may be somebody else's goal, but it's like, it may not even be your goal, but you see someone else having it, and you start beating yourself up about it. Like, you never wanted to go to college, but you see that all your friends are graduating from college at 21 or 22, and so now you're feeling like a failure because you didn't go to college, but it's like, you never wanted to go to college. So like, why are you beating yourself up for not meeting a timestamp that you never had on your life? It's something that other people have always put on you. Don't beat yourself up for something that you never wanted for yourself, but other people wanted it for you. And the next reason that I came up with was like schooling. And the reason I said schooling was because I feel like school really creates, well, a lot of constructs in our life, like societal constructs and like socialization in general all happens at school. But I think school did a really good job of creating a construct of what success looked like. I mean, even at those early stages in elementary school when we had career days, you know, the people that came and presented on those days, like the firemen, the doctors, you know, the lawyers, and not that these aren't great careers, it kind of just creates, you know, this idea of like what success looks like, what I should strive to be. I think teachers now these days are really doing a good job at diversifying those career days and making sure that they have all different types of careers. But I think you have to also think about, you know, resources and where you live and where you come from, because people in underserved areas or, you know, poverty areas do not have the same people coming to career day as people in Beverly Hills and things like that. I mean, even just in high school when you have to start applying for colleges. And when you apply to these colleges, they ask you for your what? Major. And I feel like this is when people actually start feeling like they are locked into a decision. Like, oh, I'm majoring in this, like, it kind of feels like that. Like, I remember when I was choosing, it kind of felt like this is it. I am choosing what I'm going to be doing for the next 50 years of my life. And even though that's not the reality, that's what society makes you feel. It's like, say you actually do pick something that interests you and probably isn't the best career-wise, then your family's going to ask you, what are you going to do with that? Like, you could do that on the side. You know, maybe it's painting. You know, like, you're good in math. Pick something in that. You know, you get a nice paying job. And I think this amount of pressure is what makes teenagers feel like they have to have everything figured out. And not even by 18, because 18 is when you actually graduate and you go off to college. Have it all figured out by 16, because that's when you start applying and telling people your major and stuff like that. So if you don't even have it figured out by 18 or 16, then you feel like a failure. So of course, 6 years later, after you graduate college and you still don't have things figured out, you're gonna feel even more like a failure at the beginning of your 20s. And say you maybe didn't even go to college. Maybe that was something that you knew that you couldn't do or you didn't want to do. And now you're at 22 when everybody else is graduating. You feel like a failure because you didn't do what they did and you didn't complete something and they completed something, but they're just as confused as you, but you feel like more of a failure because you don't have a piece of paper to prove what you've done. So basically what I'm trying to say is I think that school provides these different tunnels. And you know, they tell you you can go in all of these directions, but it doesn't really make you feel like you can go anywhere else outside of that. And I think when you start to go outside of that, that's when you start feeling like a failure because you didn't follow the constructs that were given to you, the tools that were given to you. And last but not least, the third reason, I think everybody can guess this one, it's social media. I mean, social media can be very positive, but also very negative in a lot of different subconscious ways. And I think that on social media, we can see millions of different 20-year-olds, 20-somethings, and I think we can see everything they have and everything they're doing. And it makes us like look up from our phones and say, look around in our room, you know, look around in our lives. And we start comparing. I mean, it's really easy, especially when you know you got billionaires. Like Kylie is 2 months older than me, okay? And I sometimes be thinking like, this girl is 2 months older than me and she's a billionaire. Like, damn, what am I doing in my life? Like, wow. And it's like even below that, like go further down the totem pole from billionaires and celebrities, come down to like, I don't know, people like me, influencers. You look at all of the things I have and then you feel like you should have those things at that age, or you feel like, damn, what am I doing in my life? And it's like, let's go even further down from the Kylie Jenners, then the influencers, then let's go to like everyday people, like people you used to go to high school with, or people that's not even on social media like that. They get 20 likes, you know, whatever. It's like, you look at those people as well. Maybe she's 22 and she got a 6-figure job straight out of college. And you're like, damn, what did I do wrong? We majored in the same thing, you know? And it's like, it's this constant comparing because on social media, we can see what other people are going through. And, well, no, I lied. We can see what other people share, not going through. What they had to do to get what they are, we don't see that. You're like, yeah, you see me now. You see the almost 300,000 subscribers. You see where I'm living, but you don't know that God put me through everything that I went through my life. Homelessness, sexual assault, like the list goes on. All of those things so that I could have something to speak about and resonate with millions. Even aside from that, like, not even justifying what people have. You know, you have these constant reminders of what other people have. And then sometimes you start beating yourself up about things that you don't have, that you never wanted. Like things that, like, you see somebody with a Lamborghini and you never wanted a Lamborghini. You ain't never dreamed about a Lamborghini. You don't even know what model it is. You couldn't say one thing about a Lamborghini, but you feel bad because you don't have a Lamborghini. And it's like, sis, I don't care how rich I get. I don't want no damn Lamborghini. That thing sits way too low to the ground. I'm not trying to go that fast. It's scrunched. Like, I don't care. I don't want it, okay? But it's like social media, not only do you see what other people have, but you also see what other people praise. You see what other people like, and then you kind of want that attention. You kind of want to be praised. You kind of want to, you know, get a little bit of clout. And that's okay. Just be honest with yourself and say that's what you want. But I think social media does this good job of creating a new norm of what success looks like. You know, what gets the 20,000 retweets and the 50,000 likes, you know? What gets shared so much? You know, what makes someone go viral? And I think when we see those things and we see what is praised by others in society and our peers, we start thinking that those are the things that we want, because that's the thing that everybody wants. And if everybody wants it, that must be what I want, you know? You know, right? Like, I should want that too. Like, I can't be that different. But you can. And you can want things that is not praised on social media. So those were just 3 of the main ideas of why, you know, people may be feeling like a failure in their 20s. But I do want you guys to go in the comments and share why you may be feeling like this, or anyone. You can generalize it if you like. But I do think it's very important on your own time to personalize it. Because like I said in this video, there's many different reasons of why you could be feeling like that. And I think it's important to jot it down, write it down, and to think about it, so that every time you start feeling like a failure, you go and read that and you remind yourself of why you shouldn't be feeling like that, or why you're more than those doubts that you're having in your mind. But now I want to get into how we deal with this, and like what are the next steps in growth from this feeling of like being a failure in your 20s. So the first thing I came up with is defining what success means to you and what that looks like to you. I think it's very important to write down, what is my success? What does my success look like to me? Because what I want to be, what my career looks like, will not be the same to the person beside me. When you write down what you want for yourself and you look down at that every single day and you remind yourself what you want, you stop feeling like a failure when you look at other people's timeline. I think it's very important to make it very clear, you know, what you want for yourself, and asking yourself why you want that, and making sure that it's not to fulfill society and what other people want for you. Because I think a lot of times we start thinking about what other people like, what gets the 50,000 likes, what would make my mom happy, and though that would be nice, you'll make your mom happy and then you'll make yourself sad for the rest of your life. And then once you figure out what you want for yourself, you know, making goals for yourself to get what you want, and holding yourself accountable to those goals. I also think it's very important to give yourself time to find your passion, okay? And I know some people are like, how do I know if this is my passion or if I just like it? How does it make you feel? Could you feel like you could do it even when you're tired? Do you feel like you could do it even when you're sad, or does it make you feel better? And it's different for everyone. Everyone's passion does something different for them. But I think once you get into your passion, you'll know. And I think you'll be able to explain it to somebody and what it does for you and how it makes you feel. And maybe you may not, I don't know. It's such a personalized thing. And I don't like ever like projecting what, you know, I feel about my passion to other people, because then you'll always have this checklist of like, oh, do I feel this and this and that for my passion? I don't want you to feel like that. I just want you to take the time to figure out what you want to make a career out of, what makes you happy at your lowest times, you know, and giving yourself some time to figure that out. Some people figure it out when they're 12, some people figure it out when they're 18, some people figure it out when they're 25. Look, it's your journey, and I know it may not go the way that you want it to go, but it's gonna go. Which leads me to the next thing, and it's allowing yourself the time to grow at your own pace, and trusting yourself in your future, okay? Because I think we already talked in this video a lot about rushing, you know, feeling like we have to have everything now, and just appreciate where you are now. Appreciate what you know now, what you've been through and what that has taught you, and understand that there will be more. There will be more. There's more life after this. Stop trying to have your entire life right now. Enjoy life. Know that tomorrow will be here, and I will be here in that tomorrow, and I will enjoy that tomorrow and appreciate it for what it is and everything that happens in it. Ride the journey. Take that journey and then experience it. Stop trying to worry about what's not here and what's coming in 10 years, and enjoy what's here right now. Enjoy where you are right now. And stop comparing, okay? Like, listen, and I know that's easier said than done. We all do it. We're humans. You know, we're in the restaurant and we see somebody with the sizzling plate and the fajitas come out and we hear it and we like, oof, why mine don't sound like that? Why mine don't taste like that? Look, it's human. We're human. We compare all the time. But I think when I keep telling people to stop comparing, and even when I do it to myself, like I'll catch myself comparing. I'm like, Tariq, stop comparing, okay? I have to give you that constant reminder so that you can give yourself that constant reminder, because you don't deserve that, okay? You are doing good for yourself, you are doing well for yourself, and if you're not, you will tomorrow, okay? You will start putting the work in, and you will start to be proud of yourself. And understand that we all have different paths, and that we'll all go through different things at different times, just like we all die at different times. It's just how we were all born at different times. Appreciate your own time, and appreciate your own timeline without comparing and putting it, you know, beside someone else's. And last but not least, remind yourself that you're young. You're in your 20s, girl. Look, you're in your 20s, and I know tomorrow's not promised, but we live knowing that there is a tomorrow, okay? And when you believe that, you have so much life to live towards, okay? And if things aren't great right now, they will get better. And I know it sounds real cheesy, but it's the truth. And you know it too, so I don't even know why you be beating yourself up. Okay. My name is Tuh-reek Ali. I don't know why there was a pause between those two, but look, I'm tired now. This wine has me a little tipsy. I love you guys. I love all my tabies. Please make sure that you follow me on Instagram. It's Tuh-reek Ali. And Twitter, it's Tuh-reek Ali. I hope you have a great day. Stop beating yourself up, okay? I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment. I think that's it. Stop beating yourself up. Appreciate your path, okay? I'm done. I love you guys. Let's talk about it some more in the comments.